my name's Martin Thomas. I am the President-elect of INCOSE UK, and today I'm having a chat with Phil Savvides, who is our Financial Director. This year we'll be electing a Deputy Finance Director who will serve in post for 3 years and then take over from Phil when he finally steps down. After that, the position will be a 2-year rotating position, Deputy and then Finance. And that's so you'll do anyone that steps up into that role will do a 4-year term. So let me introduce Phil, who will tell you a little bit about the role, how much effort it is, a little bit about why he decided to put himself forward for it, and any benefits he's got from it. So, Phil, what are the responsibilities that you do as the Financial Director?
So I think the key thing to mention is that as the Financial Director, you're one of 4 legal directors of INCOSE UK. So that is slightly different to the council members. In the fact that you have a legal responsibility for INCOSE UK. So that is puts you right at the heart of the business, really, the charity, and also makes you one of the key decision makers on the council. So how we organise it is we have a legal directors meeting before every council, where we discuss what we're doing and how we're going, and that precedes the council on a quarterly basis. So although I'm part of the council, I'm also a legal director, which is a key thing to distinguish. So it really means you're one of the key people within INCOSE UK.
Yeah.
So in terms of the role, so I am responsible for the financial aspects of INCOSE going forward. So I do all the financial planning. I do all of the forecasts. I set the budgets every year, and I do the approximation of spend against those budgets that I report to council. INCOSE UK has a turnover of about 250,000 every year. So it's quite a significant amount of money, and for me it was an opportunity to kind of develop my financial skills as an engineer, as a systems engineer. I've never really been afraid of numbers, but this was a chance to kind of grow those a bit further, and be part of something that I've certainly seen grown, particularly over the last 5 to 6 years while I've been in post, and it's been nice to be a part of that, really. So the role, is very much planning and forecasting the finances, setting the budgets at the start of the year, and closing down the accounts, and making sure really that the council have the information that they need, and the legal directors have the information that they need to be able to make important decisions about how the organisation goes forward. And the financial director has a critical role in that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but that sounds like an awful lot of work. How long do you spend doing INCOSE UK stuff as your financial director role?
So it does. It's not as scary as it sounds. So my job is a little bit often and regular. So I would say I'd probably dedicate an hour, maybe 2, depending on the time of year it is and when the council meetings are, probably every week. So between an hour or 2 every week. Part of that is sort of catching up with INCOSE business, paying important invoices, generating the reports around the council times. Then it does ramp up a little bit because I need to generate the figures and generate the reports. But I have a great support from the other council members and .the I to help me do that.
Okay, so it's not as daunting as it might sound to start with.
No, it's not, and actually I've got a lot out of the role personally.
Yeah. Okay, you said that you wanted to sort of hone your financial skills. Were there any other reasons why you decided to stand for, A, for council of INCOSE UK, and B, this particular role?
So I've always been kind of in and around INCOSE UK ever since I did my MSc in Systems Engineering at Cranfield University back in 2004. It was, and so I've always been aware of INCOSE. and to see it as a professional organisation, to see it kind of steadily grow into what it is today, and to actually be a part of shaping that has been really quite important for me, not just as a professional systems engineer, but to help grow the profession. We all know, us in INCOSE it's an important profession, and to be a part of that, to shape it, to work with other people, to help grow it and define it, has really been quite a rewarding activity. And I work for the Ministry of Defence. Change is slow within the ministry. Actually being part of an organisation where we can have positive change and you can actually see the fruits of your labour quite quickly has been really rewarding. And also it's for the good of the UK, isn't it? It's for the good of the profession, it's for the good of systems engineers kind of within the UK and broader.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Have you had any sort of personal benefits from it? Has it enhanced your career progression or anything like that, being part of taking a sort of leading role in a professional engineering institution?
So I've got to be slightly careful, because obviously there's a bit of a conflict of interest with where I work and being the financial director for INCOSE, because obviously if our membership grows, then we potentially have more members that come from the Ministry of Defence, and I really have to keep the two very much separate. So I've got to be careful how I answer that. In terms of how have I benefited, I would say I've benefited professionally from it, rather than the organisation has benefited from it. And by that I mean I have grown my skills. I have been able to demonstrate sort of leadership skills within the financial area. I've got to know a bit more about VAT, a bit more about tax and tax returns, dealing with the accountants on a regular basis. And you know what? There is something when you go up in council and get challenged over the figures, and it certainly has been a journey for me. When I took on the role, INCOSE was a lot smaller than it is now, and it's growing. I mean, if you look at particularly over the last 3 presidents, INCOSE as an organisation has made some massive changes. So if you look at it, how it was under Ivan McTaggart, what Ivan McTaggart really did was try and make INCOSE more financially viable, try to make it more stable and actually able to kind of survive some shocks like COVID into the future. He also developed the youth engagement. So really, Ivan kind of set this journey going, I think. And then Kirsty came in and really kind of did all the legwork to get INCOSE UK professionally registered in their own right. Beforehand, we were always reliant on another institution, and we were always kind of the poor relation to that. And so Kirsty put a huge amount of work just getting us professionally registered. And now Ian Gibson is really kind of refocusing and reshaping the organisation to be more meaningful to the modern era, to the modern systems engineering. With the name change to IFSI, that's another big step for INCOSE in terms of our identity, how we will be viewed across the other institutions. And I've been part of that journey, and I've helped shape that in my own little way. And finance is a key part of that, because it's like the oil that allows the organisation to run. And in my own little way, small way, I've been a part of that journey and affected that journey as I've been able to along the way. So for me, professional pride, it has got a lot to do with that, but also it's given me skills that I wouldn't necessarily have been able to have got, which are actually applicable within my current job within the ministry. So it's helped me personally. I think it's helped the Ministry of Defence in terms of what I can give back into that, and also it's allowed me to help grow an institution as we're going to be, or an institute, sorry, as IFSI.
Yeah. No, that's great. Sounds like you've had a really interesting time over past however many years you've been our financial director.
It has, and it's a volunteer organisation, and we're reliant on people to give up their time freely, and it takes a different kind of leadership skill to deal with volunteers, and you're working together, and people are putting their best efforts in, given the time that they've got.
Yeah. Okay, that's been excellent. Thanks very much for your time, Phil. Is there anything else you think any aspiring candidate might need to know before putting their name on the nomination form?
So I think because we're a systems engineering organisation, the role of financial director doesn't really attract people to do it, because it's not necessarily systems engineering, but it's a key area within the council. It's absolutely essential to INCOSE UK going forward, and actually, you don't necessarily have to be a systems engineer to do it, but to understand the organisation, in terms of systems engineering, is quite important, particularly when you're involved in the conversations that come around. Now, I quite enjoy numbers. I've always enjoyed numbers. I've not been scared of them, and this job, this role has allowed me to kind of use those skills, hone those skills, and do something different that I wouldn't normally be able to, or thought that I would have been able to do. So I think for me, it's not as scary as it sounds. Don't be afraid that it's not quite systems engineering, but believe me, you're getting involved in an organisation where you are shaping the future of systems engineering within the UK, and you're doing that as much as you are the finance director, as you are the president, past president, or the president-elect, or any member of the council.
Absolutely. All right, great. That's been brilliant. Thanks very much, Phil.
Okay, thank you very much.